Hello ladies, gentlemen, and those that don't identify themselves in that binary. I'm the Ski, and welcome to my Pokémon Shield Nuzlocke. So, after the slumbering weald, get told to go and see our mum, because, you know, if we've decided we're going to go head off into the world, it's probably best to tell your mum before you go. So back into the house, and go and have a chat with the lovely Pokemon, who is in the kitchen. She's nice, helpful, likes our Sobble, which is a real shame because Not My Starter is getting released. Still, a bit of money for the journey that we'll, you know, spend on clothes probably, because we're vain like that. And that's it. Off we go, heading down towards Route 1 and capturing the first Pokemon of this Nuzlocke, ready to replace our starter. So as we head down, there's Hop telling us that he's going to be the new champion. We'll see about that rival. And there we are. We know where we've got to head. Nice visible purple building. Always like something that you can see to head to. And that's what we need to do. So off we head into the long grass. At this point, I closed my eyes and immediately realised that I wasn't walking anywhere near the grass. Walked out of the grass and then back in and encountered a Rookidee. Now I love the aesthetic of Rookidee. Looks very much like a raven, but those nice sort of eyebrows looking like a rook from chess. Really nice aesthetic. So throw a Pokeball first time. No, first encounter. Should be able to catch it first time. Out goes the Pokeball and captured. So this is our starter, a Rookidee. Flying type, soon to become Flying Steel. I say soon, not very soon, but going to become Flying Steel when it levels up. That's a reasonable starter type. And Not My Starter grew to level 8, but that doesn't matter. We're going to be releasing as soon as we have access to the Pokemon Center. And this being a Nuzlocke, of course we're going to nickname Rookidee, and we're going to go with Korax. Korax, of course, being the group name for that type of bird. So with Korax named, we now have Korax added to our party. We then swap Korax obviously to the front because we no longer use the starter, and start with our slightly underleveled but not too underleveled Pokemon, ready to take on the world. So there's a Pokeball, which is good because this is how we're going to get all of our items in the game. And we can head on down. Let's fight a few battles, do a bit of grinding, and our first battle, thankfully, for a Rookidee, is a Caterpie. Bug type, type advantage, not likely to do too much damage to us. So, Peck, flying type move, excellent. But, of course the bird is outsped by the caterpillar. Why wouldn't it be? But still, lots of damage, get some XP in, and everything can move forward. .40 experience points, not quite enough to level up, but still doable. So after a further, mostly uninteresting battle with the Squavit, we arrive down at the purple building, the Pokémon Laboratory, where Leon's outside to tell us how working in partnership with Pokémon is the way to go. So we get to head inside and see the inside of this Pokémon Laboratory, primarily books, as Leon looks around and saying that everything looks fascinating, but we know that Leon, often getting lost, would get lost in the stacks of books. We hear a noise and in comes a Yamper. Now Yamper is one of the newer Pokemon, again from this generation, the electric dog of this generation, and it's, well, look at it, some sort of electric corgi. And then we see a mysterious person up above, explaining to us that Leon is always asking for things about super powerful Pokemon, which explains why he's the champion here. Leon greets the Yamper and explains more about helping you find your way around, which of course he's not very good at. He then makes a marginally sexist comment about Sonia, and they argue a little, but she's his original rival and now is working as the Pokemon Professor's assistant. True to his word, Leon is led off by the Yamper because Yamper knows where to go and Leon doesn't. Sonia has a quick chat with us, mostly to talk to us about our Rotom phone, give us our new Pokedex, and just go over the basics of the game. I like this bit of the game, that Sonia says, do we know a lot about Pokemon? And I've been playing Pokemon since Gen 1, which is a long time back. And if you say you do know about them, she just doesn't go into too much about it. So there's a tutorial available if you want it. I didn't, so it's nice and easy to be able to avoid if you want to. Leaving the Pokemon laboratory, here comes someone to give us some free stuff. And as we are not allowed to buy items, getting a free potion, that's a free potion. We can't argue with that. We also get the advice to talk to everyone on the journey, because hey, next we run into Hop again. Hop's there to take us into the Pokemon Center and to explain what Pokemon Centers look like in this generation. He bets we've never been inside one. Little does he know. But still, it's a nice way of bringing someone into the Pokemon Center, showing them around if they need it. He then asks if it's your first time in a Pokemon Center, like the conversation with Sonia earlier. Say of course not, and he'll say, fine. You can just get on with what you need to do in the Pokemon Center, which is good because we do have a task we definitely need to deal with. And first, we're going to talk to this guy. Seems nice. Talk to this lady because again, if you talk to everyone, you might get free stuff. But then, having rested our Pokemon, we are going to go over to the computer. When we go over to the computer, we all know what we need to do now. Release our starter. So here we are, we get a bit of an explanation about Pokemon boxes, but all we need to do here is go in, not my starter, release this Pokemon. Goodbye. Leon can capture you for someone else. And then we're off. We then leave the Pokemon Center, come out and see Hop again, who comes to explain to us about the gym challenge and the difference between this generation and the gyms of the previous generations, other than Sun and Moon obviously with the totem Pokemon. That we've got a big tournament to go through and you need to be endorsed to get there, so the only way to do it for us is to go and find the Professor. Following on from that, I went to see a lot of people, talk to people, then we run into Hop again, who stops us outside the tall grass, where Leon arrives to teach us how to catch Pokemon. Thankfully, we've already caught Korax, so he doesn't need to teach us. He gives us some more Pokeballs. Again, free stuff. We're going to need those because we'll be using Pokeballs for quite some time. And we will be heading off into the long grass to capture our next Pokemon. So once Leon's finished explaining how we're all going to work together and become champions, I close my eyes and wander into the long grass. This time it's a lot easier, the long grass is all in one direction, so I just swirl around. Realised from the sounds I was hitting the front wall, but heard the noise that meant I was going to enter combat and found a Blipbug. So, Blipbug, bug-type Pokemon, excellent. Thing you want at the start. I mean, Bug's useful all the way through now. Yes, they're not the most powerful Pokemon, but the type has got better and better as the generations have gone on. So throw a Pokeball and capture the bug. Now, obviously, playing it into the Nuzlocke, we need to give a nickname to Blipbug. And I was thinking about this. What do you want to give something that eventually becomes a big UFO alien type bug? And as we know, the most iconic alien series is probably the X-Files. And this one clearly is a UFO. so we're going to name it after the believer in the X-Files, so this one gets to be called Mulder. With Mulder added to our party, we've now got 2 Pokemon, doubling the number we can use, so we put Mulder in the front to do some levelling up. And we did a bit of grinding on the way, and I've just sped up the footage a bit because there's a few battles to go through. I'm ignoring most of the grinding battles, as it's just not as interesting as trainer battles. In this case, we sent out Mulder against a Squavit, and I thought level 5 against level 6, it's possible. And Strugglebug, very useful, it lowers special attack. Unfortunately, the Squavit was going to tackle. 7 damage off the first one, decided I can stay in, might be able to do something to it. But the second tackle, down to 2 hit points, no, swap Korax in. And we can do the job. Korax comes in, takes a tail whip, which is good. It meant the Mulder wouldn't have gone down, but it's probably not worth the chance of Mulder going down and us being down to 1 Pokemon again, as that tackle would have taken us. So Korax takes out the Squavit, and we beat youngster Jed here. Immediately ran back to the Pokemon Center for healing. After that, headed further down, and we found here Lass Lauren. Lass Lauren has a Tootle. So Mulder comes out first again. Higher level, so Strugglebug, but Tootle can tackle, which does quite a bit of damage. Strugglebug again, see what we can do, but no, Tootle tackles again, and it's not worth keeping Mulder in, so we swap into Korax again, as is now our standard tactic it seems. And Korax takes a tackle, uses Peck, and we rinse and repeat to defeat the Lass. Korax going to level 10 is great, and Mulder at level 8. Nice solid levels, ready to move forward towards the final battle on the route, and then on to battling Hop later on. This time I didn't want to walk all the way back to the Pokemon Center, so I used one of our precious potions to bring Mulder back up to fighting fitness, and moved on to fight youngster Benjamin. Youngster Benjamin throws out a Blipbug, and we send out Mulder. So it's a Blipbug versus Blipbug fight, and thankfully we're a higher level, so we just need to keep using Strugglebug until it goes down. Helpful for us, get some more XP onto Mulder, moving Mulder towards its level up and then evolution at level 10 hopefully. Once we take out the Blipbug with our third Strugglebug, we note that youngster Benjamin here is going to send out another Pokemon. And I noticed here that unfortunately I'd left the game set to switch, not set, so we'll be making that change just after this battle. The bug type moves are super effective against Nickit, being a dark type Pokemon, so we just keep using Strugglebug until it goes down, taking a Tail Whip to make the process easier for us. Obviously quick attack after a Tail Whip is usually a good strategy, but thankfully we've got the hit points to take it. And the final Strugglebug goes in, Nickit goes down, youngster Benjamin is defeated. So then, having a quick look, changing from the battle style, make sure it's set because we're playing on Pokemon Hard Mode, and head off to see Hop. At the Professor's house, we learned more about Dynamaxing, and we met the Professor and thanked her for the Pokédex. Spoke to Leon, and Leon is more than happy to endorse us if we show him a proper Pokemon battle. Therefore, Hop and I are going to go at one another and try to demonstrate to Leon that we have what it takes to enter the gym challenge. Hop talks about his legend again. He's really looking forward to having a long future in Pokemon and people to look back at him as a legendary trainer. Unfortunately, he starts with a Wooloo, whereas we've got Mulder, and we know that Mulder can take out a Wooloo. So Mulder out-leveling the Wooloo is going to start with Strugglebugs. Just try to put the Wooloo down so we don't have to use Korax early on in the battle. We note at the beginning that Hop is using 3 Pokemon to our 2, so when we make our switch in, we're going to have to make it against a Pokemon that can't just take out our wonderful Korax in one go. So the way we do that is we Struggle Bug against the Wooloo, hoping to keep Mulder relatively safe throughout this part of the fight. So Mulder, more than half hit. I was relatively confident at this part of the fight. Mulder didn't get the level up, which was a shame, but out comes Scorbunny second. Now Scorbunny, by this point, probably has Ember, so even though it's not very effective, it's worth putting the Struggle Bug in, because it will reduce the damage that Ember can do when we put Korax in. So having seen the amount of damage Scorbunny can do to Mulder, this turn was the turn that we needed to make that switch, put Korax in, and hope for a lower damaging move. So Korax comes in, ready to take out this Scorbunny, and Scorbunny uses Growl. Not the optimum status for us, lowering our attack when our main move we're going to be using is Peck, which is a physical attack. So I thought about using Hone Claws, but thought the most effective way of dealing with this would be to take out Scorbunny, because it's most likely that Korax is going to have to take 2 Pokemon down in a row. Noted the damage wasn't great, but kept on with the Peck, and hearing that the flames are burning bright, I was hoping for an Ember. When Ember comes in, we know that it's not going to be very effective because of that special attack drop. So in comes the Peck, and unfortunately uses Ember again, which is fine for us. It's a critical hit which ignores the stat drop, which is a shame. But Scorbunny there, taking the damage, and I'm pretty confident that Korax is going to be able to take it down, although a Growl drops our attack again. Less than optimum at this point, especially as the Peck doesn't actually take out Scorbunny. I was worried here that I'm going to be losing my starter, essentially. And trying to get back to Wedgehurst with just a Blipbug was going to be a problem. Still, Scorbunny went down, and Korax leveled up, giving us some precious hit points, upping our attack, so while it only went up by 1, that will have increased the amount of attack power we have, knowing we're down by 3 from the 3 Growls that we've taken. And Korax is now fighting a Rookidee. So Korax outlevels the Rookidee considerably, but with the attack more than halved, there is very much a chance that we won't be able to get through the Rookidee. So again, there was a thought about using a Hone Claws, but we decided no, let's do this. Peck on the Rookidee, and it looks like a 5-hit KO. We saw that the Rookidee's hit back against us did 3 points of damage, so Peck again. Then a Leer. The thing about Leer is that normally I'm not too worried about it, but dropping our defense again, that's going to put its Peck down to sort of 4 or 5 points of damage. The next Leer, 6 or 7 points of damage. That's a problem, because a crit will kill us, but if it's got Peck and we're using Mulder, Mulder's going to go down immediately. The final Leer meant that unless we killed it this turn, its Peck would drop us. Thankfully, the Rookidee went down before it could use its Peck, because that third Leer definitively meant that a Peck would have killed Korax. After such a tough fight, I was a bit sad that the amount of XP was so low, but we did outlevel it more than twice. So Hop lost, and we were able to move on. So after defeating Hop, Leon comes over to speak to us, and to tell us that he's got no choice but to give us an endorsement so we can enter the gym challenge, which is fantastic. Managed to survive the battle with both Pokemon intact, which is great. Letter of endorsement ready to go for the challenge, so everything's looking up right now. Hop, absolutely focused on being strong enough, good enough to go and fight his brother, ready to beat Charizard and become the champion. Hopefully, I can get in the way. So, Leon seems pretty happy with the way both of us have done, and Professor Magnolia back there, just watching on. Can't see the expression on her face, but gotta hope it's a smile. Hop really begins to think of this as a rivalry, until he notices up there in the sky a shooting star, which comes down, and we discover these are in fact wishing stars. Hop, very kindly for a rival, hands over one of the wishing stars to us, and hopefully we can use that to Dynamax our Pokémon. Professor Magnolia, as we know, is an expert on Dynamaxing. She's going to come and explain to us a bit about how it all works. Thankfully, Professor Magnolia, being the kindly professor she is going to turn our wishing stars into a band that allow us to Dynamax Pokemon, which will be great, because in big battles, like gym battles and so on, we're going to need to use that power to be able to get through, especially as we're not over-leveling the gym leaders. We're going to need every advantage we can get. Sonia then arrives and talks about the trendy curries that she likes to cook, and we know from Leon earlier that she's a tremendous cook, so we're going to partake of those while staying overnight. So, having had a curry and a night's rest, we wake up in the morning at Professor Magnolia's house. Hop's excited for the adventure to truly start, but Professor Magnolia comes to speak to us about a Pokemon we didn't recognise. Given we just had dinner and stayed the night, there was probably a lot of time before that, but, well, we'll discuss it now. He admits that he didn't even try to fight it off and that I was the real hero, but that's fine. Good, he knows his limits. Magnolia, however, overnight, has spent her time making us the Dynamax bands out of those wishing stars that we got just now, which we will be able to use to Dynamax our Pokemon in certain areas. Now, Dynamaxing the Pokemon, as we saw earlier, is going to be fantastic for, well, you saw the Charizard. So now, when we're in the right locations, as Magnolia is about to explain, we'll be able to increase their stats, increase the attack of the moves they use, and most of all, get more hit points, which is definitely going to be a requirement going forward. We then wandered back along Route 2 and came across a Tootle. The Tootle was, level 7, Molder's level 9. I thought this would be an easy fight, so Struggle Bug, absolutely. Molder's taken a few hits, but we're not that worried. And then the Tootle, having taken a special attack drop, used Water Gun. Molder, absolutely fine. So, Struggle Bug again, absolutely. Tootle's special attack goes down and I'm expecting even less powerful Water Gun, but a Bite comes through and Molder's down to 1 hit point. Thankfully, 1, not 0, so I was able to swap Molder out immediately for Korax and let Korax finish off the Tootle, but not without taking some significant damage of its own. Thankfully, Korax, out-leveling the Tootle somewhat, was able to use Peck to do enough damage that within 2 hits it was gone, but we were very close to losing one of our only 2 Pokemon to a random encounter on the way to the station to progress the plot. This is why Nuzlocks are so difficult, I suppose. Eventually though, we arrived at the end of Route 2, up at the station. I just thought we'd take a moment to look through the Pokemon we have. So we have a Blipbug, Molder, level 9, reasonably good stats, defences swapping around due to its nature, and with only Struggle Bug to attack. But when it evolves next level, it should pick up a few more moves, and it should be a bit more utility to the party. This was our Route 2 Pokemon, and I'm very happy with him. Otherwise, our starter, as it were, Korax, level 11, pretty good all-round stats, increasing special defense at the cost of speed, but considering that it's a Rookidee, I'm not really relying on its speed. Sassy nature, and it's our Route 1, our starter Pokemon. So we're finally at the station, and Hop compares the number of Pokemon he's caught with us. Unfortunately, we'd already caught our Route 2 Pokemon, So we unfortunately lost to Hop on that. Still, he gives us the TM for Swift, an attack that never misses, which, you know, in a Nuzlocke might actually be useful, although it is a bit low powered when you get further into the game. Gym challenge is going to begin at Motorstoke, so we're going to board a train to get ourselves there. As we head towards the barrier, we are followed by our mums, because, well, we neglected to tell them we were leaving. My mum knew that I was off down to see the professor and play with my new Pokemon, but didn't know I was leaving immediately. That's really my bad. I've got a phone, could have called. Turns out no. Still, she's come and brought us camping gear, which will be really useful, because if we can camp in the wild, we can restore some hit points, move forward as a party. Hop, still certain he's going to be the champion, tells his mum she's going to be the mother of 2 champions of Galar. That's pretty good. But there I am to say, we're off. So, we're going to get on the train to adventure to Motorstoke and maybe to becoming the champion of Galar. So as we're on the train to Motorstoke, we're learning about the wild area, what's going on around Motorstoke as we head off to our gym challenge. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. I've been the Ski, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.